Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters. I sound like a race car, because why not? I'm your host, Hotshot Ginger, and with me I have apparently the other part of my duo, which is severely lacking considering what we're talking about today. JaianMusic, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, this race car is awesome, Hotshot. I love it. What kind of car is this? Well, you got it for me for my birthday. I really appreciate it.
It's blue. That's all I know.
What did I just do?
I think that might be like your cringiest thing that you've not that you've ever done, but it's up there. It's up there.
It's definitely up there. Welcome back to the podcast, episode 111, triple digits, all ones everywhere. We're very happy to be back. Today, we're not doing singles, we're not doing duos, we're doing that thing you always get when you go to a fast food restaurant, trios. Anime trios, 3 picks each. We're going to be going over the baddest, the best, the fastest, the strongest, the smartest trios. Now, we're just going to go over our favorite trios. We have 3 picks each. So, Hotshot.
This is a duo talking about a trio of trios. Why didn't we have a guest for this one?
A trigonometry of trios. We've went over this in the chat.
Yeah, but why didn't we? It seems like it would have been a match made in heaven.
Yes, but you know what? We don't think that well here. Okay?
That's fair.
All right. So, what were the factors at play when you picked your 3 trios?
I'll be totally honest. Trios I could find. Because when I was going through animes that either I've seen recently or I've been watching or that are fresh in my mind, I was not running into very many trios. I was just like, wait, no, that's a duo. Wait, no, that's a group. Wait, no, that's one guy. Trios, for some reason, I was having a hard time connecting with. I'm like, yeah, trios, this will be fun. Then I started looking for them. I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare. So the 3 trios that I have, I really do enjoy, and I really do love their shows. It's just not the first ones I thought of, because I actually did take a little while to think about it, but it took me a little bit to find them, just because it took me a minute to find my trios. So I don't really have a theme. I just enjoy them.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's the thing with trios, though. They're not the most obvious grouping in anime, but once you start thinking about it a little bit more, there's a lot of them. There's way more than I remembered. I mean, I can start listing some off, but I don't want to spoil your list potentially. But there's a lot of them. There's literally articles that people wrote about anime trios, and they go on for a little while. So definitely out there. They're out there, bro.
And I know that's the case. There's a lot more than you really think there are, but it's when getting that first or that second or even that third one, once you start the wheels going, you'll start finding them no problem. But it's starting to turn the wheel. That's the issue.
Fair enough. All right.
What about you?
Would you like me to go first? Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, let's answer the question I asked you. Mine were just trios that I also just personally enjoyed. I feel like we're doing a bit of a throwback here, because this year so far we haven't done a single list podcast as far as I can remember. And so when we did our list podcast last year and the year before, we were always like, oh, I enjoyed these the most, so I will talk about them. I feel like it's a back to basics for me, for sure.
Yeah, because it's you and me just talking about just a wide variety of hey, we like these. Okay, what's the next thing you like in this category? I honestly love our list ones. One of my not one of my favorites. My favorite episode that we've ever done is technically a list, so it kind of goes into that. And I say technically because my favorite one is the one we did with Eli when we made Pokemon.
I mean, Hotshot, I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You want to do all list episodes from here on out. And for that, I will do that for you, because I'm your best friend and I care about you. I'm going to go first, if you don't mind. This is my favorite anime, and I just wanted to work it in. And I don't care what anyone says. This is a trio that I severely enjoyed, really badly. I love these characters, all 3 of these characters, this entire anime, this entire universe. If you are a fan of this podcast, you already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I'm going to say Spinks 2.0 from Zenki no Terror, because we start out with 9 and 12, and then Lisa later on gets involved with this terrorist group. So the first trio I'm picking is definitely Spinks 2.0. Would that be a good way to describe it?
I think so because Sphinx 2.0 or like Sphinx updated or like anything like that. Because if you say Sphinx, like the only ones who actually appear on screen are 9 and 12. So like they're the only ones that the characters know as Sphinx. But like behind the scenes and everything, then yeah, Lisa's involved. So yeah, 2.0, Sphinx updated, whatever you want to call it, like a variation of that. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So basically, Sphinx starts out with 9 and 12, two orphans from the Athena planet in Zenki no Terror. The quick premise here is that it's in modern day Tokyo, and they are a terrorist group that start doing these bombings throughout but throughout Japan. I think mostly Tokyo is what they hit. I haven't seen the anime in a year or two, but it's mostly in Tokyo from what I recall. And these bombings have hitting cryptid messages and guesses for the police, and it's just like this psychological thriller anime. And Lisa gets caught up at the very first episode. She's a high school student who's severely bullied and made fun of, and you can tell she's an outcast from the beginning. And she matches up with 9 and 12, these very like bizarre characters because of their past, because she also had the same eyes, is what 12 said. The same eyes as the people in the Athena plan when 9 and 12 were being experimented on. And so she develops a very love-based relationship with more of a love-based relationship with 12, and then with 9 it's obviously 9's like, you're useless, why are you here? Like, I feel like all the interactions between 9 and Lisa in the entire anime was just 9 criticizing her. I mean, as far as I remember, what do you think?
I mean, I always thought nine and her had like the love connect. Okay, was it 9 and 12? I got the numbers mixed up again.
Yeah, 9 is the black hair, 12 is the one that's funny.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought it was a love connection with like her and 12, and 9 was just kind of like, well, she's here now. And I mean that's kind of how it felt to me, because like once like scenes with 12 and Lisa were the only ones that I actually enjoyed watching and looked forward to. Like everything else, I'm like, okay, nope, 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 skip it. I mean, when so you say she had the same eyes as the ones from the Athena project? Was she was
Yeah,
she in the orphanage, or did she just have the same eyes? Because we kept flashing back to like
just the same
the
eyes,
kids.
just the same eyes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
the
the only
girl that was in the
ones.
orphanage with them was 5,
Okay.
the white hair girl.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. But you would think that like the eyes would be like a sign to 12 and especially to 9 actually, of just like maybe stay away from this girl because, PTSD stuff like that. Just like bring up bad memories.
I see what you mean, but at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword, because if she has commonality with them and they have commonality with literally no one else, it kind of makes sense to team up.
Okay, fair. It's like finding someone who doesn't have any friends in like your school cafeteria, and then you just go up and find the one thing you guys have in common, and you end up being friends. Yeah,
No, you go up to them and
or
you
do
start an
that,
anime podcast with them.
or do
Yeah.
that. Just bring them home, never let them leave.
Aw, love you more.
I know you do,
But yeah, she's
but I
definitely a damsel in distress character, I would say. And 9 and 12 are like the fiery ones, they're the ones like disarming bombs, going down to the subway, almost like dying at some points, and she's the one who's she gets caught by the enemy. She needs to be helped out. She's clumsy, she can't play soccer properly when she plays with them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of this stuff where she's always like kind of holding them back. Like, to the point where when 12 was like, hey, let's introduce Sphinx number 3 into the plan when they were at the airport, 9 was just like, ugh, if you insist. Like, he's so not down, dude.
because it's just like another liability that they have. Like it's something else they have to keep track of
100%.
alongside all their plans.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Because like I understand where Nine's coming from. Like Nine's just like, okay, we're here to do a job, and we need to be as efficient as possible in this job to get this point across. And 12 is like falling back on human emotions, where he's just like, yeah, he wants to have Lisa in there because one, he's probably falling for her too, and two, they need a friend desperately. I think it's just the fact that like 9 wants to be like as efficient as possible with this, and just like, okay, the less obstacles in its way, the better, and just like we need to be clean, we need to be efficient, we can't have any distractions. We're here to do a job. We're here to get a point across. with 12 falling back on emotions, like him falling for Lisa and everything else. And frankly, they just both desperately need a friend. Like they have each other, yeah, but at the same time, like, okay, they get the point across. What then? It's like, I know nine's dying, but
No,
12 is
100%.
fine. Like twelve needs a friend, like after nine's gone. And Lisa comes around and nine's like, no. But I mean, I don't really have anything else to say on the trio other than that. Like I honestly thinking about trios, I should have seen the fact that you were gonna work this one into it because I know Terran Resonance is your favorite anime, and I should have realized, yeah, it's about a trio.
They are a trio. They are the absolute trio of anime.
Despite what happens to two of them.
Don't spoil like that. Don't do that.
I didn't say what happens to two of them.
Your turn. Your turn.
All right. I'm going to go with the one that I'm going to go with the only one that I feel like you could potentially steal because I know for a fact you
I'm
don't.
stealing
know
all
the
of them.
oth-
It
you don't
doesn't
have
matter
the-
what you say right now. It doesn't matter. I'm picking your next pick is gonna be my pick anyways. It doesn't matter.
All right, that's fair. So none of this matters. Okay, so I'm choosing orange, pear, and passion from Annoying Orange.
Okay, come on now. Come on.
You said it doesn't matter. I'm leaning hard into that.
You were off for one episode, and
Alright,
this
fine.
is what you give me back. No,
Alright,
no,
my
no, 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 no.
actual
You were
pick.
off for one episode, and this guy's picking fruits instead of anime characters. Try again. Okay, hi guys, anime podcasters. We're doing anime trios. Here's your first pick. Go ahead,
Hey.
Hotshot.
They have anime references in it. All right. So my actual pick is Misty, Brock, and Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
I wasn't gonna pick him. Nah, dude.
Yeah, see? I told you my picks were safe, but this is literally the only one that ran that risk. The other ones are fine.
The only reason why is because we have an anime podcasters chat, and I just sent that picture earlier just to throw you off. Anyways, go ahead with explaining why are you picking these guys.
Because I thought you were picking Team Rocket, so I didn't pick Team Rocket. That was the God, that fucked with me. Okay, so these were my fall. This was my fallback, so I guess I'm stuck with them now, and I can't talk about Team Rocket. But I'm picking Ash, Brock, and Misty because they were the original trio for Pokemon. So like me, like a lot of like '90s kids and everything, they were one of the first integrated stepping stones to anime, and honestly.
100%.
Honestly, like the 3-person like traveling squad stereotype kind of thing took off from them. Like took off from Naruto, or like when you first meet a strong group, they're like a group of 3 before adding more and stuff like that. And honestly, I've always really loved Ash and Misty. Brock, for some reason, I don't know why, but as a kid, I'm just like, like I've grown an appreciation for him now, and I really do love him. Like I love Brock a lot. But as a kid, I'm just like, go away. I don't know if it was just the fact that like his eyes were squinted like always, and I didn't trust that or what, but I just didn't like Brock as a kid. But I'm at the point now to where like they're the original team. He had some of the greatest puns ever, and he made the most delicious looking jelly filled donuts. Please tell me you get the reference.
Okay, these guys were the original like badasses of Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like they had such good chemistry together, and I feel like I don't know. From what I recall, wasn't there a bit of a love triangle at some point, or am I just like confusing that?
Not so much as a love triangle, as much as like a One Direction love, because like it was very very heavily implied that like Misty had a crush on Ash, and Ash like didn't reciprocate it like until he was no longer partnered with Misty. But Brock was just I'll hump everything that moves. So it was just kind of there was no love triangle or love like fear when it came to Brock and Misty, because it's just like, you just like me because I'm a girl kind of thing.
I mean, they just worked so well together, and they had such like they were the like ultimate friendship. I feel like they really had each other's backs. But at what point do they splinter off? Because I know like the first season is very much them together, like let's conquer the world. But like obviously Ash goes on leaps and bounds like ahead of these guys.
I mean, they splinter off at the end of the Indigo League series, but then like the series after Advanced Battle, Ash meets up again with Brock like a little bit into it, and then he doesn't travel again with Misty. He just like meets her every now and again. Like in Sun and Moon, Ash actually goes to the Kanto region again with all of his Alolan friends. and they actually meet up with Brock and Misty. They're the ones who are showing them around Kanto. So like
Oh, okay.
there's still like constant references and constant like cameos between the two of them. But they splinter off from the first season. Ash meets up with Brock like I think for maybe two more series. It might just be Advanced Battle. I think it's another one though too. But he never travels again with Misty. But they remain good friends. We just never see them together like that.
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. I like. I don't know. I really enjoyed these guys. I know like I'm saying very generic things right now, but this is like a childhood show that I have not seen in a very long time. But at the end of it, like you love these guys. They are the people like I looked up to Ash in some ways. You know, I know he obviously steals the spotlight between these guys. And Brock, I don't have much of a memory from him. And Misty, I just remember her tagging along more than anything else. So that's like what I can recall from these guys
She
personally.
kind of tagged along more than anything until like they got to Viridian City, the one where she's one of the gym leaders. Because then she
Hmm.
really freaking took off because she was the one that Ash faced for the water badge. So it's like then we actually dove more into Missy and like where she came from, what she actually is, because we didn't know she was a gym leader. We just thought she was just some random girl with a bike that Ash stole and that she was only tagging around so Ash could replace the bike. But when we found out she's the water gym leader along with her sisters and actually has some strategy and skill in battle, aside from using Psyduck, like she started like we started learning more and more about the characters like as the season went on like that. But I mean it's still Pokemon. It doesn't really dive that deep into the human characters until like later seasons. It really is the selling point for it is the fact that there's Pokemon creatures walking around. Like you're there for Pokemon. You're not there for the trainers.
No, 100%. I enjoyed the Pokemons as well. Like, I'm more of like the first 150 were my favorite. You know, I kind of dropped off after the other
That's
generations,
yeah, that's the
but
season.
yeah,
That the first 150 was the Indigo. That's where these three are. They're a staple trio. Like when you think trios, they might be like one of the first ones you think of. But really, there isn't really a whole lot to dive into about these guys. Like either you know them or you don't.
very much so. Extremely popular characters that had a big impact on many anime watchers' childhood, and we love them for it.
And how? All right, you want to go over to your second one then?
My second pick is from Naruto. I feel like Naruto's a very easy universe to use in this type of episode because there's literally formations of threes everywhere. So I'm not picking the obvious one. I'm not picking Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. No, I'm picking one with better teamwork. One that has proven to work extremely well together, and that is Ino, Chikacho, Team Asuma, Team 10.
Okay, honestly, thinking about it, yeah, that would have been the better call. I actually almost picked a Naruto team too, but it wasn't them. But why? Okay, so why these guys specifically?
I feel like these guys' teamwork destroys uh, any others of the teams. Obviously, like it's hard to compare to Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, but these guys stick together a lot more. You know, like you have the other squad. Neji dies. I don't really see Hinata, Kiba, and Shino having that much chemistry as they do. They literally have like jutsus based on like okay, Ino is going to do this first, and then Shikamaru is going to do that, and then Choji attacks like this. You know, like the first time we really see those three in action is in the Forest of Death when they fight Dosu, Kin, and all of those sound ninjas, and you can really see that they like have a perfect chemistry together. I really, really enjoy seeing them fight, and you also have the generation of it. You know, you have their parents having an Inochika Cho combo as well. You know, like these guys just had these awesome combos and this awesome teamwork from the beginning. Obviously, there's like a little bit of fractures in them. I'm talking specifically between Choji and Ino. I remember an episode, and this was pre-time skip Naruto, where Ino criticizes Choji for being too fat, and then Shikamaru criticizes her for picking on Choji. You know. It was a whole thing where you can see that Shikamaru is kind of like the leader of those two. A perfect example of him being the leader is when Shikamaru is fighting against what were those two Akatsuki's names again? I forget.
Kakazu and Hidan.
Yeah, Kakuzu and Hidan. Kakuzu, I believe, or Hidan, pissed off Choji calling him fat, And so Choji runs towards Hidan, and Hidan almost slices him, and then would have gotten his blood. And Shikamaru had to use a shadow possession jutsu to stop him right in the nick of time. You can see that. That's why like he's the one who went to go like tuning first. It's a whole how can I say, dynamic, those three. And the thing that I feel is different for these guys compared to any other squad is that they lost Asuma very early on. We lose Asuma early Shippuden because of Hidan, and Shikamaru is never the same after that. And I don't see it as affect Choji or Ino as much, because they definitely give Shikamaru that attention. But he grows into a splendid ninja that literally advises Naruto 200 plus episodes into Boruto, And I love how they shape up. And we even have some sort of Ino Chikacho in Boruto. This is like a trio that like has gone through generations. You can't deny how fantastic of a trio these three are.
I mean, they all have like separate strengths. Like, I mean, like Choji is like the raw power, like the muscle kind of type. Shikamaru's the strategy, like thinking ahead, making sure plans work for everybody. And then Ino's kind of the like her skill set. At least she's not really a character that does this, but her skill set is more meant for like espionage and like actual ninja spy stuff. But obviously, she's just like, I will kick you in the face. So the three of them like mesh really well, and like you said, there's a generation like before them, and I believe a generation after, right? Is this still Ino Shikacho and Boruto like with their kids?
Yeah, there's a Choji's daughter, Sai and Ino's son, and then you have Shikamaru's son as well.
Okay, so I mean, like it's a like basically, if you're in the Yamanaka clan, the Nara clan, or the Akamichi clan, you're going to be in the team together. Just like it's already decided. It doesn't matter how well you do in battle or anything else. You're going to be a team. And I mean, it works. It works though, because like I don't think there's been anyone or any other team that like butt heads so much, except for maybe like Team 7, but obviously. And then like come together as like the strongest team. And I know Team 7 can't say that because Ino Shikacho has their shit together.
100%. I do want to go back to a point you were saying about like I feel okay, and tell me if I'm accurate when I say this. I feel like you were downplaying like Ino a little bit. Like she's probably like the weakest of the three. Would you agree? Like, is that like your impression of it, or like is that what you're trying to express?
In terms of like being a team player, yes. Just because like she's kind of a mix of both Shikamaru and Choji, where like she's a strong fighter, but she can also like come up with plans. Like later in Shippuden, yeah, she becomes a medic ninja, so it's just like we have the powerhouse, the strategist, and the healer. But like her skill set, like mind transfer jutsu and stuff like that, is meant for like spy missions, like espionage, like to gather intel and stuff like that. I mean, her dad in the Great Shinobi War is the one that's like communicating with everyone across the battlefield. So it's like meant for widespread communication and like stuff like that. And meanwhile, we just see her like just jumping into the fray and everything else. It's just, don't get me wrong, I love Ino. She's one of my favorite characters, but she doesn't use her skill set to like what it's actually meant for. And that's actually another thing that bonds them like pretty closely, I feel like, now that I said Ino's dad, because like in the war, when all of their parents die, like, and they see the attack coming, and like Ino's, or actually doesn't Shikamaru's dad like say, hey guys, listen up, like through him, and then they just understand what's going on?
I feel like sorry, I feel like that's what happens. They had a whole thing in Boruto about Shikamaru's dad's death, but like just when I just want to go back to Ino real quick, because the point I was trying to make is that in Boruto, she has some very cool roles that the Yamanaka clan in general has some very cool roles. Like there's this whole thing now, there's this barrier around the Leaf Village that if anyone enters it that doesn't have a Leaf Village chakra, which recently happened in Boruto around the 200s, Ino or any Yamanaka member will be able to like detect that right away because of their jutsu and their mind jutsu, and warn Boruto via mind transfer or like via telepathic message. So I just like the evolution of these guys into Boruto as well, because they're Choji has a great episode. Shikamaru has quite a like secondary presence, but still is, I feel like they out of all the Genin and pre-time skip, he's definitely very present in comparison. Like it would be like Naruto, Sasuke, and then Shikamaru was the third like most present one of them from that generation. So all that to say that these guys translate and bleed well into the series, and they have a long-lasting impact.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, I just didn't really have anything to add aside from that. Just like they complement each other really well. They honestly, it took me a long time to like Eno. I immediately liked just because like kind of bratty, kind of or not snazzy, snarky, like kind of attitude. Shikamaru took me a little bit like, and I'm talking like original Naruto here. Shikamaru
Yeah.
took me a little bit just because like what a drag, what a drag, what a drag. I'm like I get it. You don't want to do anything. I don't like you. It took me a while to like him, but like once I started, like once he started taking shit seriously, don't get me wrong, he still complains about some stuff as do we all. But once he started taking shit seriously, I'm like, you are awesome. And Choji I honestly didn't like until the Sasuke retrieval arc. And that was because of like Butterfly Bomb. But then after that, I didn't pay attention to him in Shippuden at all until the Hidan Kakuzu fight.
He has some good bits, but I understand like the whole like tuning exam where he loses to Dosu after one punch. It's so disappointing. I understand why you have that sentiment, and I would have to tend to agree with you. But I think that wraps it up pretty well on these guys. You know,
Yeah,
Choji's a bit moot at some points. Good point. Yes, agreed with you on that. Like touche, hot shot.
Like I love him, but there's not really a whole lot to dive into in my eyes.
Nah.
All right, moving
What's
on
your
to my next one.
Yeah, what's your second pick?
My next one is so you're gonna hate me, or you might hate me a little bit, but that's okay. It's fine. My next one is from Soul Eater, and it is Def the Kid, Liz Thompson, and Patty Thompson. And
I mean, I don't. Oh wait, yeah. I've seen these guys a little bit in action. I know who you're talking about. Go ahead.
I'm saying you might hate me a little bit just because it's in Soul Eater, and that just means we might end up talking about a certain character. Anyway,
it doesn't matter anymore. Come on now. Come on now.
Fine. It's dead.
We've evolved.
No, we haven't.
We have. I have.
We haven't evolved. We just gotten older.
I've regressed.
Yeah, that means down. You hate him more now.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's go down to see what your pick's about.
All right, fine. All right, so I'm picking Def the Kid, Patty, and Liz. They are one of the only trio Meister and weapon pairings, because usually you only have one Meister and one weapon. The twins, the Thompson twins, are actually pairs of pistols, and that's Kid's weapon. I don't understand why they were actually able to merge so well, just because of what they are. Maybe because they're twins. Like, it's been a long ass time since I saw Soul Eater, so I could be getting that all kinds of wrong. But it's just their personalities and everything complement each other so well. Like, Kid is the I am the best at everything, now get out of my way. Liz is the okay, let's think about this from a logical standpoint, you need to lighten up. And Patty is the kind of absent-minded but like fun-loving, kind of like hooey, like that kind of character. They have such different personalities, but they mesh so well in like this, not like this perfect pot, but like so well that it like gets together. Like even like in his debut episode, even so, kids using the girls in their pistol forms to like get to, I want to say, a mummy. And then he just fucking abandons them because of something about symmetry. And Liz and Patty end up shooting with each other. So like Liz will transform and Patty will be shooting with her, or like vice versa. And they'll just be surviving the sarcophagus on their own. And it's just because like Kid just fucking left. But they have like their soul synergy like that synced up to where like it doesn't matter if like Kid's using the pistols or like if Liz is using Patty or Patty's using Liz. Like they mesh so well. And once they actually start getting the friends like with Maka and Soul and Blackstar and Tsubaki, like they actually just start coming into their own like in part of that group. But the funny thing is, like, even though like, and I'm saying soul synergy a lot because that's a big thing here. Even though their soul synergy is so strong that like they can all use each other, Um, it's not as strong as Blackstar and Tsubaki's. Like Blackstar and Tsubaki actually have the strongest soul energy between everyone in DW DMWA. Yeah, DWMA, Death Weapon Meister Academy. God damn it.
Oh man, I forgot that was the name of the school.
It's been so long since I've seen Soul Eater. But like when I thought trios,
it's good.
But like when I thought trios, I thought of Death and Patty and Liz almost immediately, just because like it is so rare that you actually get a trio of Meister and weapon. It's always just one Meister and one weapon. So it's like even just they're kind of an oddity. And then Death's son, that's another oddity. His weapons are twins. That's another oddity. Kid's all about symmetry, but the twins are fraternal twins, so they look almost nothing alike. So that's something else. And it's just it's kind of all over the place. Like it's small details like that, but when you think about it, you're like, wait, so this is totally mixed up, but it works so well.
No, right? Like for me, I've seen little to nothing about these guys, but hearing you describe them, I think this trio was definitely one of the things that made me like continue watching Soul Eater for the brief stint that I had with this anime. I was like, and then I saw their episode, and I was like, huh, 2 weapons for one person. This is bizarre. And the dynamic between them is one of good teamwork and one of discipline and one of where you see that they care for each other. You know what I mean? And I know these are like typical things in a trio, but I just enjoyed the personality twist added with these guys. They were like quirky and weird as well. So it was odd, but it worked for some reason to me. And honestly, it's making me want to like pick it back up and finish it.
I honestly think, and I honestly thought this from the start, that if you did have a favorite team or a favorite setup, like in Soul Eater, it would honestly be Def the Kid, Liz, and Patty. Like, I know how you feel about Black Stars, so that's off the table. But I don't
love Black Star, best character ever.
But I don't really know how you feel about like about Maka and Soul. Like, you honestly might like some of the
cool.
Yeah. But you honestly might like some of the side characters more than them, like Sid the Zombie or Professor Stein or anything like that. Like you might like some of the side characters or the villains more. But if you had to like heroes, I think you'd like Kid's team the most.
Right. I know these guys are cool in my book and I enjoy them. But at the end of the day, I think they're the only trio, and that lends itself well to the anime because they just bring in you a whole like dynamic to that universe. Because I feel like they're the only trio I can think of.
Yeah, they are the only trio in the anime. Everyone else is just a pairing, and then when they join up with the other pairs, then it's just one big group. Like I can't think of anyone else who's actually a pair, or who's actually a trio.
No, exactly.
Damn.
A pair of trios. A trigonometry pair of trios.
Yeah. All right. You want to go ahead to your final?
Yeah, I'm switching it up. I was originally gonna go with the Pilaf group with from Dragon Ball Z, and Super. I feel like that was a good but I'm no longer doing that. And this anime that I'm gonna the trio I'm selecting is from an anime that I know you've been told many times by everyone to watch, and I will not spoil. I will describe the characters' personalities and why I enjoyed the trio, and that will be that. So I am picking from Demon Slayer, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. These 3, the only thing they have in common is that they're Demon Slayers. That's all. That's it. These guys go on missions together, but they have like some of the worst teamwork I've seen at the beginning. These guys like do not communicate well. You got like Tanjiro, who's like this like very caring, like level-headed guy who's like thinking the mission. You know, he's got a bit of that Rock Lee attitude in him that I really enjoy. And then you got Inosuke, who's like Bakugo 2.0, like meathead, hothead, just douchebag. Could have picked him for the anime douchebags if we do a 2.0 of it. I might actually pick this character. And then the third one is called Zenitsu, and this guy's like the biggest wuss of all times. Like this guy gets scared about anything. Like he sees a demon and his reaction is not to grab his sword, but to put his 2 hands on his cheek and to go, help me. Like that's what it is. These 3 are very bizarre, but like when you see the Demon Slayer movie and the Demon Slayer series as it goes later, further on and further on, I mean, they are awesome. They are awesome, awesome, awesome. But it's so unlikely that this is like the most unlikely trio I've seen in a long time in anime. Even more than Sphinx. These guys kind of like, okay, so you guys are all on the same side, so work together. I love them. I really do. I really like this trio, and I'm glad to bring it up. And we haven't had like a good Demon Slayer talk on this podcast before, and I'm hoping this kind of fills the gap for me. So yeah, this is my final pick: Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. If you have questions, Hotshot, and I will not spoil. Let's nerd out a little bit here.
I know Tanjiro's the black and green checker with a sister.
The main character.
Yeah. Which one's the one with the pig head?
Inosuke.
Inosuke, and then Zenitsu.
Okay. The blonde hair kid, the lightning one.
Okay, long Japanese names like that, they're gonna go out of my head. I will say that right now. But at the time of recording, this episode, as you guys know, I work in a movie theater, and the Demon Slayer movie is still active there. And recently I had to be in the position that cleans the theaters, so I had to go into this one when it was still going because there wasn't anyone in there. I just had to make sure it was cleaned and ready to go and everything else. So I saw the ending a couple times of the movie, and it was just the three of them. I'm not going to say why they were, but the three of them crying, and then Zenitsuke, the pighead, was just saying, okay, you guys need to ball up. And then he just headbutts the blonde one. God damn these fucking names.
Zenitsu.
He headbutts Zenitsu and then just grabs Tanjiro's collar and just says, now we're gonna train. we gotta make this worth it. We're getting back to work. And it's just like, he seems kind of like the one who tries to be like the tough guy, but on the inside he's just like just as hurt as everybody else, and he's just like just as human as everyone else. Like that's honestly what I'm getting out of it. Is that accurate?
No, I understand. I like you've definitely saw the basic personality of Inosuke.
I really only saw his.
I feel like there's a little bit of me in him. Like I can see myself in him a little bit in the sense of like, let's go Hotshot, let's go record. Like he's motivated for sure, and he's got like a great work ethic. But I just like. The thing is, the fact that you saw like the latest part of where the story is at right now in terms of the anime, and you haven't seen the build up to it, is kind of a shame. Because had you seen everything leading up to that at that point, you understand the dynamic, like what's been going on for the last few weeks in that anime. You know what I mean? It's accurate to answer your question, but I love like Inosuke is such a great character, man. Like he is such a hothead, dude, and he gets into these wacky situations. He bites off more than he can chew the whole anime. Like if he had the hunger of an infant, he bit off a whole elephant. You know what I mean? Throughout his battles and the way he like carries himself, and oh man, great trio, great trio for weird reasons.
Unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot to add on them, though, just because like I still have yet to watch Demon Slayer. But I will say, after seeing the ending, and in the ending, I did see a little bit of the fight, like that led up to the climax and everything else. So after seeing that, I really do want to check it out even more. There's just one, my stockpile is just overloaded, and two, it's just going to be a while for me to keep everything straight on it. But I am really curious about the series. Just unfortunately, at the time of recording, I don't really have anything to add, just because I don't know anything actually about them.
No, I understand. What's a like quick snapshot here? What's the next thing on your stockpile right now?
Right now I'm still finishing. Just because again things have been hectic. Right now I'm finishing Kaguya-sama: Love Is War. I only have a few episodes left on it.
Okay, and what's the next thing after that?
There's been one that Kyo's been wanting me to watch, and we actually did start. I'm just forgetting the name.
It can't be that good. Okay, forgetting the name.
And I know. Well, it's a Japanese name. There's no like English translation for it, so it's just Japanese and it's in my head. I know like the character and the setup and everything, but I do not know the name.
All I'm saying is that if we can do a podcast about the
About
Demon
Demon
Slayer
Slayer,
this year,
I
I'm
know.
gonna be
I'm
very
aware.
happy.
I'm aware you want that.
Demon Slayer, for me, Demon Slayer is like no game, no life for you at this point. That's how I see it.
Okay, that might be fair.
All right, let's go to your final pick, Hotshot. Go ahead.
I know this is a trio that you've never heard of, and I know it's a show you've probably never heard of unless you've heard about it from me and Kyo.
Try me.
So the show, okay, so I'll take this one step at a time, actually. So the show is called Prison School. Have you heard of this?
I think you've mentioned it before, yes.
Okay. So in Prison School, the main school is a basically university where it is an all-girl school, like completely, and it is top of the line, everything else. But three, I think it was three. It might have been like four or five. No, I think it was four. Like four guys actually scored high enough in their school to actually classify to be in this school because it was like it's like top tier. Like there's no school better than this school, and they actually qualified on grades alone. And they're surrounded by the girls, but they always like say super conservative and everything else. Like they keep their desires to themselves. Like they don't try anything. And the one time that like they consider trying, they get busted, and that's where the prison school thing comes in. Now, in this school, they have the what is it? They have the above ground student council, which are the ones that like run the school and everything else, like basic stuff a regular student council would do. And then they have the underground student council, and that's the trio that I'm going to be talking about. This is like the warden of the prison school that the guys are thrown into, because once they're caught, it is literally a prison. They are thrown in a cell. They like can only have like outside town like a day or an hour a day, stuff like that. Do hard manual labor. Like they are literally in jail in this school. And
oh wow.
So the trio that but you are never going to watch this. I know this going in. You are never going to watch Prison School.
Then why do you pick it, Hotshot? Okay, go ahead.
And the trio that I'm picking, the Underground Student Council, the members are Mari Kurihara, Meiko Shiraki, and Hana. I'm not even going to attempt that. But it's these three. So Mari's the president, Meiko is the vice president, and Hana is the secretary. So like they have the titles of regular student council, but they are fucking brutal. Like so the warden of the prison is Meiko, and she's the one who literally basically just steps on the guys and like kicks them over, stuff like that. And I'm being very generous and PC here because she does way worse than that. But she is the one who treats the guys like dirt the most, because that's what they are, because like they got caught peeking on girls and she's putting them in their place and everything. But it goes so over the line, like so over the top with it. It's just she and the president like legitimately just hate guys, and they're taking him out on that. The president is really just there to keep an eye on everything. Like she's the like finding basically like even the slightest not misdemeanor, like even the slightest misbehavior from the guys, she'll find a reason to like keep them in there longer and like sustain their punishment and everything else. And then the secretary Hana, she's one of the characters that like seems sweet and innocent on the outside, like once she starts talking to the guys, and then she will beat you to a bloody pulp. Like this is a brutal ass show, and these are brutal ass girls. And me and Kyo, like this was one of the shows that like we had to pause every so often, just go like, ooh, ah, ee. But we still watched it, we still finished it, and we bought it.
I'm gonna be honest, I really want to watch this.
No, you don't.
I actually want to try the first episode. This is like
don't.
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to.
All right. It is a hotshot show though.
From a scale of 1 to Keijo, how much of a hotshot show here are we talking about?
Pretty fucking high up there. Like it's,
really?
It's the brutal. Like, it's
from 1 to Keijo. Give me a number here.
9. Keijo isn't a fucking number.
Keijo's not a number. I really want to make that the title of the episode. Keijo's not a number.
Usually I'm on more like the happy-go-lucky and like dirty here, dirty there, like that kind of show. No, this is just fucking brutal, and even the sexuality is brutal.
Okay, maybe I won't watch it. Maybe I'll just edit that whole part out. Okay.
I wouldn't blame you. But
Okay,
the three of them make like that solid of a team to where their entire goal is to keep the boys in there until the end of the year, because while they're doing their jail duties, they can't do their school duties, so they basically don't have a chance to graduate.
Right.
And they
okay, I see.
and they do not want to taint the name of their school, like their all girls school, with 5 boys graduating. I looked it up. I was wrong. It's 5, not 4.
Oh, dare you get it wrong. The amount of things we must have gotten wrong on these episodes, though, like, no stress, bro.
Yeah.
I honestly have nothing else to add to that because obviously this is very much your territory. So let's wrap things up. I think we're good.
Yeah, should be good.
All right, so my picks were Inochika Cho from Naruto, Spinks from Zenki no Terror, and the Demon Slayers from Demon Slayer. What were your picks, Hotshot?
My picks were Ash Ketchum, Missy, and Brock from Pokemon, Def the Kid, Patty Thompson, Liz Thompson from Soul Eater, and the Underground Student Council from Prison School.
Okay, perfect. Let's wrap things up here. So the artwork for Anime Podcasters is done by GoProKyo. He's available for commissions, does amazing art. Go follow him on Twitter. Go slide in his DMs, and anything you need, animation, a sketch, an artwork, an album, whatever you need, you go to him and he will make it. And he has super affordable rates and he does gorgeous work. He is amazing. Go check him out. He has done the artwork for the Rise from the Fire extended play that Lunatic Rappers will be releasing. This is me sliding into promoting. So yes, Lunatic Rappers, after 2 years, we're finally coming out with original music. 4 originals, 2 remixes. This will be our last EP for a while because we're going to be doing singles after this. We're going to be just concentrate on doing more than just like one track at a time instead of taking like a year or two to just make a few songs. So the link to everything about that will be on the Facebook page, facebook.com/lunatic rappers. And you can follow the podcast at Anime Podcasters on Facebook. And you can also subscribe to us on your favorite podcatcher. ratethispodcast.com/Anime Podcasters, speakpipe.com/Anime Podcasters, and we have a new link. I have a new thing for the podcast. I will be releasing it for this episode specifically. We now have a survey that you can take in the description of each episode from now on. This will be a survey for you guys to let us know what your thoughts were, what topics you wanted us to do next. It's going to be a Google form that I'm gonna do very soon. So if you have any thoughts, anything you want us to work on, any criticisms, if you want to send us anything, go ahead. You can use that. So we have a survey now, Hotshot. Yay!
Yay! We have what is it? Audience participation. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, we have a short attention span and audience participation.
Well, yeah. Have you met me? My attention span is non-existent. Like it's already gone. I'm already thinking about other things.
Hotshot, when is your next Twitch stream?
Next Twitch stream hopefully is coming up soon. And okay, so let me get into that.
Considering this is late June for people.
Considering this is late June for people, I've probably already streamed. It'll probably be sometime later in the week if it wasn't just like a day or two ago. I can't give you an exact day. I stream when I stream. I'm still trying to work out.
Okay.
I'm still trying to work out like scheduling stuff and stuff like that with work being crazy and everything.
But if they go on your Twitch channel, it's like once a week. I feel like, didn't you have a calendar thing that said like, oh, my next stream is like around this day?
I did, but it set me up on like it was only that game and everything. So I'm still trying to figure out like how to actually operate it. But okay. I try when I can to stream every Sunday and Monday because those are my days off. So look for Sundays and Mondays unless I'm working. But unfortunately, it's unpredictable sometimes. So. To keep an eye on that, guys, you can go head over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HotshotGinger, and catch me on stream. You guys can also see my VODs and everything there. And you can catch me right over here on JaianMusic's channel on Anime Podcasters, and our short series, Get Back Here Hotshot, which I believe has concluded at this point, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's been a few months now,
out? Yeah.
And, I just want to put it out there. Hotshot and I have been talking about like maybe continuing it because it didn't get like a huge response in terms of views, but I have gotten tens of 20s of messages from people from like people on Facebook that love it, that think it's hilarious, that loved. They're like, poor Hotshot. Is this like real life? I was like, no, guys, we didn't actually blow up the planet.
Didn't actually blow up the planet. I haven't yet gotten my restriction. What is it? Restriction notice from
Restraining order.
Restraining order from JaianMusic. It's in the process. I'm in the book. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't been evicted. I didn't get fired. Yet.
I think you're in good shape.
Let's see what happens. And you guys can
see what happens. So,
and
yeah,
last two places you guys can find me. You guys can find me over on Twitter at Hotshot Ginger. And you guys can find me over on my channel, Hotshot Ginger, where I plan to be resurrecting PontuCast. But just like with everything else, it's just a matter of trying to work everything into timing.
You got one episode in the can for that.
I got one episode in the can. I got one. I'm prepping one episode for it.
I cannot wait. All right. So for myself and Hotshot, this has been another episode of
our show. Bye.
Anime Podcasters. Bye, guys.